people. Talking to you again about some movies I watched. Kind of a disappointing round this time around, but I mean, there's some bright spots, so let's get into it. First, MI3. Yep, Mission Impossible 3. Watching the old one. It still holds up to being very suspenseful, very good. There is some violent points in it where it's just like, oh man, that's gross. Some points where I had to close my eyes because I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff, and I'm not afraid to say that because it's really violent stuff. So pretty good, pretty suspenseful. I thought they unwrapped the story well. Left some loose ends in there, of course, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you. But Mission Impossible 3, violent, somewhat, but suspenseful and good action in it. All right, next we have 007, Die Another Day, James Bond. Yeah, watched that old one again. Halle Berry made her mark as a Bond girl, and sad to remember, I can't remember the other Bond girl. Decent action. I thought they unwrapped the story well too, and they had some decent infiltration scenes, some spy scenes, and some fight scenes. That interspersed in there was just weird, gross sexual innuendo that, I mean, it's just, wow, it's so gross. And it just wasn't very, I mean, it was kind of witty banter, and all in all, not impressed. Anyway, moving on. Must Love Dogs. Must Love Dogs with old John Cusack and Diane Lane. Good enough. Good enough for a romantic comedy. Again, this is another one of those attempts to depict people trying to find love and really having no religion in their lives. This is most of what, no God in their lives. And for me, that's a very personal thing. I hope it is for you. Maybe it's not. But I asked God for a wife. Like, I didn't get online and start trying to date everybody and sleep with everybody like they do in the film. So I just want to throw that out there that this is a very craptacular way of trying to find love, but it's so nice that they do. It's so nice that they do eventually. They make some passing nods to some homosexual couples, of course, and some other, a traditionally married couple, I think was the sister of the leading woman, and so they make some nods to some other forms of just the state of relationships. Also, the father of that lady was trying to find love again after his wife passed away. So very interesting, very different, and in one sense it's positive because it makes you think about people who are in the different points in their lives, trying to recover from certain things or move on or get on with their lives after tragedies or traumas. Next, let's go to Battle Angel Alita. Alita Battle Angel. I thought it was pretty good. Again, animated, violent. So but I thought it was good. I had seen a while ago. I had seen the very old anime to it, but this is a full feature film that I thought did a fair amount of justice to it. The actors did very well in it, I thought, in portraying their parts. And boy, it's a brutal world. It is just a brutal, unforgiving world that Alita takes place in. There's some helpful backstory on the DVD, in one of the DVD extras about Earth and infighting amongst humans, which is kind of kind of the crux of it all. It's like there's this really, you got to be out for yourself kind of mentality in this world. It's hard to find camaraderie or family or people you can rely on. But they get it. They do it. And yes, violent, weird transhumanism, but beautifully woven story. I'll give it that. Again, it's an adult film. It is not for kids. That's for sure. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, next, Johnny English strikes again. I thought it was pretty funny. Not a lot of people can get into Mr. Bean and his way of doing things, but I mean, this wasn't a Mr. Bean. Okay, it was Johnny English. It was a different character, but still this kind of semi Pink Panther-y kind of a movie with his own brand. I thought it was its own brand. I thought it was distinguishable enough to be its own thing, and I thought it did well. Next, The Love Letter it's really old. It's got like a young Ellen DeGeneres in it and a Tom Selleck even. And ultimately, it's a frustrating movie. I don't recommend it. It was frustrating. Like the leading lady, which you in a sense you want to try and understand her. In some sense, she's a shrew to be tamed. But mostly she's frustrating. She is a frustrating woman. Frustrating, disappointing woman. All in all. And she was very immature and she was hurt, so she was trying to recover from being hurt, but not really doing anything to recover on her own. She was pretty well walled off emotionally and just not having it. And I guess the graciousness of these two other men in the film, their willingness to forgive her failings, shortcomings, really kind of brought her alive again. And so that's a good point of it. But yeah, she's a frustrating character. She is a frustrating character. Next, we're gonna go to did I do all 7? No, I didn't do all 7. Smallfoot, that animated film that came out a little while ago. Well, I say a little while, it's been a while, but hey, I think it was within the year. Smallfoot, a nice film, a nice family film, but let me tell you this, a lot of teaching going on in there. A lot of teaching about how traditions need to be questioned, and is that good? Yes. Is it bad? Yes. It's both, because traditions can be positive, they can be true, or they can be false. And they just with the narrative, and Common started in there, and Common had this rap in there where it was kind of cool. It was a good rap, but man, it was just like they went out of their way to just bash tradition, I feel, and the values passed down, and they made some allusions to the 10 Commandments written in stone, laws written in stone, y'all. I mean, clearly that's a reference to the 10 Commandments. I don't think they're talking about Hammurabi's Code, because in our context, in our day, we should be, and of course, living by God's laws for our lives. I mean, they're the best. There's the best way to live in the world. But hey, we got a movie here, and Hollywood's been doing this, where we like to bash on those things, and so the patriarchy, you could call it, the old man, the governor, the mayor, the priest of the village is like suppressing the truth, and he's like, yo, I got to suppress the truth, yo, to protect the people, yo. But guess what? You don't have to. So there's like competing philosophies here. I think in one sense, for traditions to be owned, they have to be pondered and not necessarily question with doubt, but question. Anyway, I will leave it there. This has been a pretty long video. We'll pass it off to you. And yeah, hit me back in comments. Talk to you later.